are moments in life that break you. You felt it. The pain, the heartache, the struggle. Those moments when it seems like everything you've worked for, everything you've dreamed of is slipping away. You feel like you're drowning in your own sorrow, your own suffering, and you wonder, how do I keep going? What if I told you that this suffering, this pain that feels so overwhelming, is actually the source of your greatest power? What if I told you that the suffering you're going through right now is the very thing that can push you toward the life you've always dreamed of? You've been broken, but it's time to turn that suffering into unstoppable motivation. You are not meant to be a victim of your pain. You are meant to use it, to rise from it, to transform it into the fuel that propels you toward greatness. It's time to stop letting your pain control you. It's time to control the pain. And when you do, you'll become unstoppable. I've been there. I know what it's like to feel like your world is falling apart. There was a time in my life when I was completely consumed by pain. I had dreams that shattered, relationships that crumbled, and I was left standing in the ruins, wondering where it all went wrong. The weight of everything felt suffocating, and I thought I'd never recover. I felt like a failure. I doubted myself at every turn. The voices in my head told me I wasn't good enough. And the hardest part, the loneliness. The feeling of being trapped in a life I didn't want, stuck in a cycle of suffering that seemed endless. There were days when I didn't know how I would keep going. The pain was real, the darkness was consuming, and I thought, this is it. This is all there is. This is where it ends. But here's what I discovered, slowly but surely. Suffering is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of your transformation. I could have stayed stuck in that pain. I could have let it define me. But I decided to use it. I decided to make my suffering my strength. And if I can do it, so can you. I know you've been there, or maybe you're there right now. Maybe you've faced failure, loss, or rejection. Maybe life hasn't turned out the way you expected. And maybe, just maybe, you're standing in the middle of a storm that feels like it will never end. But here's the thing, pain does not define you. How you respond to that pain is what will define you. You see, we all face suffering. We all experience moments when we feel like we've hit rock bottom. But here's the truth you need to hear. Rock bottom is not the end of your story. It's where your real story begins. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced suffering. Every person who has ever made a real impact has faced pain. But they didn't let it break them. They used it. They turned their suffering into their motivation, their fuel to push forward, to fight harder, to rise stronger. So what if your pain isn't something to run from? What if your suffering is the very thing that will unlock your potential, that will push you to achieve the greatness you're capable of? The power to turn your suffering into unstoppable motivation lies within you. But you have to choose it. You have to decide that you will not be a victim of your circumstances. You will rise above them. Here's the truth, and it's something that no one will tell you. Pain is not a weakness. It is your greatest strength. When life throws everything at you, when it feels like the world is pushing you down, that's the moment when you need to rise. That's the moment when you need to use every ounce of pain, every ounce of suffering to fuel your fire. You are stronger than you know, and I know this because I've been there. The pain that feels so overwhelming, the darkness that seems like it will swallow you whole, that is where you find your strength. That is where you find your true power. Don't let anyone fool you into thinking that the path to success is easy. It's not. The road to greatness is paved with struggle, with suffering, with setbacks. But every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every hardship you face is a lesson. Every challenge you overcome builds your strength. So don't fear the struggle. Embrace it. Use it. Because in the end, the pain you've endured will be the very thing that makes you unstoppable. Let me remind you of some of the greatest people in history who turned their suffering into their power. These are people who faced unimaginable pain and used it as fuel for their success. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. That was 27 years of isolation, rejection, and suffering. But he didn't let that defeat him. Instead, he used that pain to build a vision for a free South Africa, a vision that would change the world. He turned his suffering into strength, and when he emerged, he didn't just survive the storm, he became one of the greatest leaders in history. J.K. Rowling was a single mother living on welfare, struggling with depression and failure. She was rejected by 12 publishers before one finally agreed to publish Harry Potter. That rejection, that pain could have stopped her, but she used it. She turned her suffering into her drive, and today Harry Potter is one of the most successful book franchises in history. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television, fired from her first job. She struggled with abuse, rejection, and hardship. But instead of letting her suffering break her, she used it to fuel her rise. She became one of the most powerful and influential women in the world by turning her pain into her purpose. These people didn't let their suffering define them. They used it to fuel their journey to greatness. You can do the same. You are at a crossroads right now. The pain you're feeling, the suffering, the heartache, the struggles, they're not here to destroy you. They are here to make you stronger. You have a choice. You can either stay down, wallowing in your pain, letting it define you, or you can choose to rise. You can choose to turn your suffering into your fuel, into your unstoppable motivation to keep moving forward. Right now, you have the power to take control. You have the power to turn this pain into progress. But you have to make that choice. It won't be easy. The road ahead won't be smooth. But every step you take in the face of your suffering is a victory. Every time you push through, every time you rise despite the pain, you are moving closer to the person you're meant to be. So don't wait for things to get better. Make them better. Take action today. Use your pain. Turn it into progress. And when you look back, you will see just how far you've come. Remember this, your suffering is not the end. It is the beginning of your transformation. You have the strength, the power, and the resilience to rise from your pain. You are not defined by what you've been through. You are defined by how you rise from it, how you use it to fuel your journey forward. So rise, use your pain, let it fuel you, let it push you, and when you do, you will become unstoppable. You will turn your suffering into your greatest motivation, and when you do, nothing will be able to stop you. Now go out there and make it happen.